Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Balls Deep. Once again, episode 41 with my man Dan here, down at
10th Planet Adelaide now.
10th Planet Adelaide. Very honoured to have Dan as a new guest on the show.
It's been a long time coming.
It has, and we saved it for the perfect time. Saved it for the perfect moment. For those of you that don't know, obviously you fucking hear me talk jiu-jitsu all the time. You hear me mention Dan's name. You hear me mention everybody's name. And this is the dojo. This is Dan. This is 10th Planet Adelaide.
Class is going on behind the camera right now. We've got advanced class happening. They're going through their E-series transitions. So you probably hear JKP go deep with some techniques sometimes. That's happening in the background right now. Right
now we're hitting E-series. For those of you that don't know 10th Planet, it's all over the internet, so you know our strategy.
Come at us
and we'll still wreck you. But basically, guys, I wanted to get Dan on the show because he's probably one of the most interesting characters I've ever met in my life. Went to school together, didn't really talk to each other, knew each other in school at all. We had English class together and that was about it. But now I'm glad to say that, he's probably, along with all these guys in this room, probably one of the closest people in my life, in terms of learning, teaching, all that kind of stuff, and pretty much stimulating my fucking brain constantly.
Hey, look, I've seen you change in the 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. How long have you been training here now?
It was 30th of January was my first free trial.
Shit!
And it's
now you're just darsing everyone.
6th of September.
His nickname in the inbox is Darth Vader, ladies and gentlemen.
Darth 7.
100%. Darth, yeah. Why'd you have to bring that up?
So, inside joke, guys. I wanted to start this out because I saved all this conversation because, I've tried not to talk to you about this kind of stuff, so it's fresh to me as we talk about it.
Sure.
I want to know why you got into BJJ.
I'll tell you why I didn't. Everyone else has this insane story that they watched UFC #1, watched Royce Gracie melt all these huge guys. No. I was traveling down. Let's go back a little bit further than that, and then we'll get.
We're getting balls deep. This is
fucking balls deep. I originally started. I was a pretty high-end athlete in soccer, or I like to call it football, and I was traveling every weekend with my father in the middle of the night to play games on Sunday. So we'd leave Saturday night and play early Sunday morning, then drive back. That was for 4 years straight. Every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'd be playing.
Committed father.
My dad's down for soccer. Not so much down for martial arts. He's coming around. He's coming around, but we're getting there. Yeah. Hopefully he comes to the dojo on Sunday. Holy shit, that'd mean the world to me. Yeah. I always look up to him in that sense. So kind of got daddy issues in that sense, but I love him. So
we all got parent issues.
Yeah,
100%.
So then the dad said, you know what, I'm not traveling up anymore. We're going to move up. So dad stayed in Weiler and still worked, and my mum, Shaz Lasky, my brother Dylan, and we moved up to Adelaide. And on the drive up, I was going through all this weird shit in my head. Am I going to go to this new school and get fucking bashed? What's the most lethal martial art I can learn? And at the Port Wakefield truck stop, it was at Port Piries at the Tin Man. I went into the magazine section, and I was like, martial arts magazines, and just so I could learn some techniques out of this, and I bought it. I bought this book, and it was called Blitz magazine. It used to be run by John Will, but now I think it's sold. I actually think it's fucking gone. I think it's done, which is sad as. Yeah. And I seen an advert for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and so I cheeky Googled it, and it's the most lethal, most technical, devastating martial art you can learn. So I said to Mum, tonight, we've moved up on the Thursday, tonight I'm going to my first BJJ class. Remember, this was 2010. I was 15. I didn't have a license. So my mum had to drive me. The sole purpose we moved to Adelaide was for soccer. And then when, my mum likes to see us happy, so she was like, oh, fuck it, I'll do it. So she drove me to this fucking house. Up to this random ass house on Hancock Road, deep Hancock Road. I'm talking about bikey territory, meth heads, hookers, all that shit. 15-year-old, she pulled up at the front of my late sensei's house, not sensei now, but old sensei, and I opened the side gate. I said to him, is this the house? Because this isn't a training facility, it was this rundown house. I had 2 broken cars out the front. Fucked up. You wouldn't send your fucking worst enemy there.
No.
Popped the fence, and I walked up to this shed, tiny ass shed, 6x6 mats, and I met Darren Cartwright. I started my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu journey there. I trained for 5 weeks until my parents, more so Dad, said he needs to focus on soccer. Get him out of that. So that drifted off. And then another 4 years later, I got back into it. Now, that journey...
So now this 4 years is... So you've gone from teenager about to start at a new school and now you're post-school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Post-school, lacked full direction, was a wannabe gangster, I hadn't found my place in the world yet, and I feel like I was just talking about this earlier in my advanced class. That's probably the biggest struggle, I reckon, as an adolescent male, is actual finding your place. It's the fucking hardest thing ever.
I know, you're beating off 5 times a day and you're like, what am I doing with my
5.
life, man?
Rookie numbers, man.
Oh, I was going to say that was on a good day.
Yeah,
I tried to not do it so much.
In between watching Mastering the System and studying techniques, Pornhub is there. It's actually one of my sponsors. It's up. Oh, you can't see it, it's all good. So, I hadn't found myself yet. And then I thought, you know what, let's go back into martial arts. Like, I'm over soccer now. Let's go back into martial arts. So I went back to that original coach. He had his own facility now. He wasn't training in a 6x6 mat, den, dojo, rape dungeon. He had a fully legit academy. It was fully fledged, awesome. Went back there. I met some really good people there. And that is when I got my blue belt in the gi. Now, around the time I got my blue belt in the gi, I discovered 10th Planet. Now, that is a tangent.
10th Planet is, and it's so funny because I think I've said it before, I'm not too sure on the podcast, that from the onset, my story's a little bit different than yours. I was training Muay Thai for a while and I just watched UFC and I was like, man, this 10th Planet looks sick. This Eddie Bravo guy looks like he just is a genius in this world.
Master Eddie's a freak. So is Sensei Frank Barker.
And I was like, I just want to do no gi grappling. I have no interest in gi at all. And that's how I come across you, because I was like, holy shit, there's finally a 10th Planet affiliate and now 10th Planet.
It's one of those things, it's funny you did that in inverted commas, because for so long, I'll go into detail about how the journey came to be, but for
definitely.
So long, whenever anyone called us 10th Planet, I'd say, we're not 10th Planet.
No.
I mean, I was at 10th Planet Blue Belt, still am. But I didn't like people sanctioning me as 10th Planet without the blessing of Frank and without the blessing of Eddie. I felt like I was doing a disservice to him.
Yeah.
But I earned it. I felt like when the apprenticeship for affiliation started, I felt like I earned it during the process. And for those of you who don't know, the process is incredibly grueling. And not every Joe Blow can just pay someone money and open up an affiliation. And I know for a fucking fact, that that's the case in a lot of other associations. And that's why I hold 10th Planet to a high level, because you have to compete. You need to know the warm-ups. The warm-ups are 8 sets of drills, 4 drills in each set. It's crazy.
E1 is like the longest drill you've ever fucking...
You need to know that off by heart. You need to know the system, and I'm talking about the 156 techniques outside of the wall that Eddie devised before the warm-ups came to be. You need to know that shit down, and you need to be a good dude. There's so many fucking cocksuckers out there that aren't good people that you wouldn't want in your system. So the way Eddie set it up was he gave Frank the reins to be general here in Australia. Yeah. And if you've ever met Frank at Australian HQ Coburg 10th Planet Melbourne, he is the biggest cocksucker filter you'll ever meet in your life. If you are a piece of shit, he'll filter you out and you'll be out in your ass quicker than you can blink. And that's why I look up to him as an older brother like he is. If you walk into that gym with an ego, you're walking out in crutches.
Oh, for sure.
And he's 65 kilos soaking wet.
That's that's what I feel like I myself especially have learned coming here is like bullshit filter has gone from here to here, and it's funny because like we're the same age. Well, I'm 2 weeks older than you or
Not
something.
even, yeah.
And but I fucking have, some people have that ego and they're like, oh, he's the fucking same age as me. What can I learn from him? I'm like, nah, man, teach me. You know shit. Like, we fucking have gone down different paths and I'm fucking absolutely here to learn that kind of shit.
I think that's the real crux in terms of... I had this conversation yesterday, in fact, I did another podcast yesterday, that I'm not going to just regurgitate shit you've heard online or whatever, but age is a number. you should be very curious and G-check people if they go out of their way to tell you they know something. But I never teach over you. I never teach over any of my guys. My advanced class learn with me.
Yeah, for sure.
Being 23 years age, running an academy that's internationally recognised, these guys help me, man. They help me rise up. I can't teach over them. I teach over the beginner class, scumbags. Kidding.
No, he's not. Fuck you, beginners. But yeah, it's so crazy that because especially like when I go to roll you, or when anyone goes to roll you, I can see. It's almost like you know what is going to happen before it happens too.
Fucking Jedi mind tricks. Don't think so, but
that's just the way it seems though. That's what I'm saying, and that's why it's like it makes me. I'm like, all right, we switch on, learn, like take as much in as you can, because for a fucking 23-year-old that has his own academy, like you've got to know shit. There's no like, and that's where I think that whole respect your elders thing.
Yeah.
And to as much as the old people that might watch this, I think that's a little bit of bullshit. Because
a little bit of bullshit. That's fucking bullshit.
Because
I work in retail as well. Just saying.
Oh yeah.
If you want your kids to develop character, put them in retail.
Yeah, definitely retail or some sort of sales.
There's some privileged fucking. I don't know if I can go off the rails here, but
do it.
There's some privileged
little cunts,
white nomads that you place an apple in correctly and you owe them triple their super and a fucking Winnebago caravan. What the fuck do I owe you? Answer. Nothing. What are you doing?
100%.
I'll pay respect though, real talk. I'll help the old lady cross the road.
Oh, for sure.
But just be real, just be a human being.
There's no question about that, but the one I'm talking about is like a fact that some old person that you have no idea if they are like, oh, what, they expect the world. You can just tell by looking at them, the way their body language is, if they expect the world, expect you to move mountains for them, whatever. And I'm just talking in retail terms too. Like if they expect you to, if you don't have something, you don't have something. But they're fucking
It's like when
I know
when you turn 50, you get your bowel cancer testing kit. It's like you also get a letter saying, "Hey, be a fucking asshole to anyone under 25 as well."
Right.
There must be an induction kit we get. Hopefully we get it. Hopefully,
hopefully
the government's still funding.
glove.
Yeah, hopefully the government's still funding asshole kits at 50 because it's doing my head in. But with that said, martial arts has taught me to respect is a two-way street.
Fuck yes, and that's what I mean. Like if somebody is just straight out disrespecting you, it's like, well, I don't care if you're older than me. That's not the way you're supposed to treat people. And I think like you would come across it more than anybody with all the free trials that come through is that if somebody comes through and they don't show respect and then they're not on the right path, if you manage to get to 50 years old or whatever and you don't know how to respect people because like, Dan Hendry comes in here or whatever, and he's older than us, but he still learns from me. Like,
props to Dan Hendry. He was my first roll back in jiu-jitsu, and he's come to my academy. He's followed me here, and he's taken the 10th Planet System on board. Fucking props to you, bro. And you're like 30-something, late 30s. You're a killer.
Learning from a 23-year-old. Now that's respect.
Respect.
And but that's what I mean. Like people, if they get to 50 years old or whatever, and they just like they treat you like that, it's like, well, I'm not going to respect you. You think it's respect your elders? No, fucking just
mutual.
Yeah, it's a two-way street, man. Like,
it's one of those things.
Yeah, and sort of tying into why this whole jiu-jitsu journey, respect and whatever, and that's why I want to know, like, what made you want to go from the gi to strictly no gi?
That's a story and a half. Okay, so at my old academy, the roster was Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and occasionally Tuesdays. Now, that occasional Tuesday was a no-gi night. And I didn't work on Tuesdays. My shifts were Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at that time, so I'd leave work and go straight to training. I went and tried a Tuesday night class, and I was getting my ass fucking reamed for months in the gi. And I'm not going to use weight as just the sole reason, but I was wrestling people between 80 and 120 kilos every night.
And for those of you that don't know, Dan's...
I'm 67 kilos after 4
kilos.
litres of water.
Yeah.
So that's a shit time, especially as a green jiu-jitsu guy.
Oh, yeah.
So I wouldn't even call myself a jiu-jitsu guy. I'd call myself a fucking pancake because that's what I felt like all the time. But this no-gi night, I went there and I realized that you can't just hold on to cloth and just hope for the best. I had chances and avenues I could go down where, Dan Hendry, shout out to you again, because his fucking side control's killer, I could ghost out of it or find a tunnel with light at the end of it, and just hit that path. And then I realized that, hold on a second, if this was on the street and the person was wearing a singlet, how am I going to fucking cross-collar you, bro?
Exactly.
What are you doing? Like,
What are you doing?
I totally just questioned everything at that point, and then I Googled, like I was on YouTube, obviously, as everyone does, YouTube Warriors.
Yeah, that's how I came in.
And I caned, looked up no-gi jiu-jitsu and went down this pathway, and I found 10th Planet. And at that point, it was controversial in my gym, and I hate to say this, like, because he's just passed away, respect to him, but I got ostracized a lot for wanting to go down the rubber guard path. Like, I watched a few videos, bought the book, it was fucking awesome. Everyone knew me as the rubber guard guy. But there's come to a stage where I was like, you know what? I need the real thing. Like, you can bat off for 6 months, but at some time you need to get laid.
Oh.
So
Mate,
I Googled
6 months is way too long. I've
10th
been
Planet
dead by that
Jiu-Jitsu.
time.
I seen Master Eddie's page there, went down the page, and then I seen that there was a guy named Frank Barker. Whoa. Frank told him my story. My story is very similar to Frank's, although he's traveling 16,000 Ks to go to his master. All I had to do was do a 2-hour flight to Melbourne, right?
If 2 hours.
If 2 hours, on a rainy day. And I trained with Frank and I rocked up. And Frank, I just got to reiterate this, Frank is way smaller than me, but he made me, his top pressure, his techniques, his clinching, his squeezing, which is the backbone and the seam of 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, made me feel like I was wrestling a rhino. At that point then was the 2 mil of heroin straight to the main vein. I was hooked. I came back to Adelaide and every single thing Frank told me, I did, relentlessly. The second trip, I said, Frank, I'd like to represent 10th Planet in SA. That motherfucker laughed at me. He literally laughed at me. And
It's
he's
a
like,
big statement.
you're a
to make,
21-year-old. What the fuck do you know? And I thought, I'm going to prove you. So kept coming back 9 times later. And then the apprenticeship started. After the 7th trip, he said, all right, your apprenticeship's starting now. Let's do it. I went, whoa.
Holy shit.
And there's journeys. Like, I was staying at a crack den. We'll talk about that after. But I stayed at 2 crack dens and halfway houses for domestic violence victims and prostitutes, lady workers.
Just out there earning their cash, making their way.
And I was staying at all these venues, and then I developed a really good family bond and relationship with some guys over in 10th Planet Melbourne, and they looked after me, man. I owe a lot to them. You know who you are. I don't need to list you. You guys, this wouldn't exist without you, okay? That you had faith and belief that I wasn't just some blow-in, and I appreciate that. But we can talk about the incidences I had staying. The first 3 trips I stayed in some pretty fucking scary places.
All right, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
The wannabe gangster staying in crack dens. Just to finish this whole 10th Planet talk, I know I personally have seen a little bit of it. I've only been here for fucking 8 months, just
At the stretch,
if
yeah.
that. Yep. And so I come in at the peak almost of your back injury.
Yes.
And to see somebody who's in that, like, for those of you obviously who've had a back injury, a significant back injury, you know what I'm talking about, you know what I mean. It's immobilizing, it's intense, and I've seen that since day one, since I've been here. Dan was at the peak of an injury, still here grinding, still here rolling, still here showing us techniques every single night and committing his life to the dojo, to BJJ, to 10th Planet, to, just disciplined as fuck. Like, one of the most disciplined people I've seen. And I guess that's only the surface of being able to understand how much Dan has gone through. But I want to know what 10th Planet Adelaide means to you, means to everyone, you know?
Got tissues?
Yeah, fuck.
Dude,
I'm ready, man. I come in here prepared to cry.
That question, that question's so loaded for me because for people who don't know, 10th Planet Adelaide was Adelaide No-Gi Grappling. Before that, it was 2 people drilling in a boxing ring, studying the homework Frank had sent me over Facebook. we did that for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I fit in 4 or 5 Melbourne trips in a year. I was training in a boxing gym, pulling up my mats every night. I was grinding and grinding and grinding. I'd lost students that I'd helped out. I'd gained students that I love. 10th Planet Adelaide to me was overcoming this wall I'd put up. 10th Planet Adelaide was me exploring the world, exploring Australia. 10th Planet Adelaide to me was putting faith in a master. And a lot of people in the martial arts community still don't do that. I mean, I like traditional values, modern techniques. Exactly the same. That's how I describe Frank's gym in one sentence. And he's savvy as fuck in the way he talks, the way he deals with people socially, the way he will wreck you 5 times in 10 seconds. And 10th Planet Adelaide means a lot more to me as the time went on. But I've got to always look back retrospectively and say, it grew me as a person because I learned how to do finances of a business, how to actively promote yourself on social media, how to be straight up and know your worth. That is a huge issue that I had to overcome, know your worth. I was too busy going, oh no, you can train for free, man, don't worry about it. But then I thought, hold on, I'm spending $3,000 every time I go over there, flights, accommodation, paying off prostitutes to be quiet at 12 o'clock at night because they're too loud. It was a true story. It shaped me as a character, how to register a business, how to communicate to competitions and how to communicate to people in a competitive sense. All of that, it totally shaped who I am today. I feel like without the guidance and mentorship of Frank and all the squad there at 10th Planet Melbourne, without the guidance and basically to say that the journey was solo would be incorrect.
For sure.
But the people that shared the journey with me have shaped me.
Isn't it funny how, like, I was thinking about this the other day. This is I haven't talked about this with anyone yet, actually. I was thinking about how, I was actually talking to my sister, and she was telling me about how, because we both know how OCD our mum is and how crazy she is. And then my sister was like, oh, I've actually done this. And I was like, wow, you're OCD. And I thought, fuck, I'm like super organized as well. I'm OCD. I was like that when I was a kid, and I thought since I left school I've changed so much and I'm this different person. But at the core, I'm this same person. I'm just more evolved, and like,
exactly right.
That's what.
If you stop evolving, you start losing.
Exactly. If you get left behind.
100%.
And
even in jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu. And I feel like if you could go back to. If you could go back to you at let's say in that 15-year-old Dan, like that, you now was you back then, but all those core values are still there, but you've met people along the way, you've had obstacles and whatever, and it's just, it hasn't necessarily brought them out, but it's just built them up and strengthened them, and you're like, I still absolutely have all these core principles, but like me, like fuck yeah, I'm actually kind of crazy organized sometimes, and shit has to be a certain way, like, you know, and you
can't, when it comes to business and it comes to people, because there's people's lives here. At any moment in time, 3 people could snap their ACL and it's on me. You can't fuck around with that shit. And the responsibility is huge.
Fuck yeah, and it's just, but deep down somewhere you've always had that responsibility. You've always had that that discipline, that drive, I guess, because like you said, you used to be fucking good at soccer, and you would travel no matter how far you had to go to do that, and you had to go to Melbourne, and it's the same now. Whereas you don't have to go to Melbourne as much, but obviously you would still want to make trips there. You know what I mean? It's just part of everyday life. But now your drive is making Georgia want to get better, making Paul want to get better, making us all want to nail the warm-ups, making us all, and you know what? Like, it's just going to keep building and building. And it was this crazy thing when I thought about it the other day, because
we've had 11 free trials come in the last 17 days. It's going to explode.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Do you know one thing that, as it's been pretty hard because it's ego at 23, because all you want to do is you're young, dumb, full of cum. You just want to wreck shit.
Yes.
Right? It was shutting my mouth, looking to people who have taken the path I am, listening to them, and then making the decision to whether their information is pertinent to my cause, which it 100% will be if it is the right master. Everything Frank said I did to a T. Everything my mum said, my mum provides me with all the opportunities. She goes, hey, down at Coles, the disinfectant's on special, love. All right, mum, I'm on it. She's got my back that way.
Yeah.
I'm just lowering my guard. These people, if they're older than you, they have been around, so there is a chance that you could absorb something from them that's pertinent to your cause. But there also is a time, like we spoke about earlier, where someone that's older than you thinks that just because their age is higher than you, that they have fucking reign over you. And that's not always the case, but everyone that's older than you has been around longer than you, and you can always absorb something from them.
Yeah,
even if they're a dickhead, you can go, hey, you're a dickhead.
Yeah, I don't want to be like
I don't want to be like you. That's a lesson.
I don't like that trait. Yeah, I'm never going to... But the same thing as well, it's like that Bruce Lee saying, I said it a couple episodes ago, you know, take what is useful, disregard what is useless, and make what is uniquely your own. You know, and the old Bruce Lee sidekick, huge part of not necessarily standing in jiu-jitsu, but escaping submissions and getting safe and whatnot. And it's crazy. But you've had Ryan or Vanessa was your oldest student? Vanessa.
My actual first student ever was a very, at the time, terrible Thai boxer, and now he is a state national champion. Doug Lloyd, props to you, bro. And then he went off on his little journey, not little journey actually, that sounds belittling, on a fucking extreme journey. He fought internationally just recently and did pretty well, although he got stoned, which is unfortunate, it happens in the fight game. But my actual longest standing student is my now partner, Vanessa. And then it went Ryan, and then a few other people popped up. I've got a lot of OGs that stayed with me from 2-3 years ago, and that means the world to me because they're loyal as fuck.
Exactly, and like you said, 10th Planet Adelaide would not be here without him, and it's almost like they are 10th Planet soldiers. They're gonna feel it just as much.
Like
as
part
you
of the plan was I had to train 5 or 6 people up, so there was a culture. So we had it. Frank used to refer to us as the little ninjas. I had a guy that was obsessed with warm-ups, Jesse. I had a guy that was an ultra competitor, Ryan. I had a female, Vanessa, ultra competitor. These guys were going out there wrecking shit for me, and that's where the culture started. Then I had to go out and compete, and I struggled to balance it all. And then I found the perfect formula, and it's taken off. I owe a lot to those guys because they don't just rock up and train and pay their fees and train. They just have got my back, and they're not just students with me. Like I said earlier, they learn with me, not under me. I think it's really important as a young instructor. That is so fucking important. 100%.
I could not agree more. Summed it up perfectly. Now, I do want to hear these stories about crack dens because I love this sort of shit. My funniest stories about hookers and shit is fucking driving down Hanson Road, throwing $10 notes out the window.
I think everyone in Adelaide's done that,
surely.
At the Shell there, when the Shell... Yeah, that's insane. Yeah. Anyway, we'll go down that path another episode. Okay, so my first trip down there, I was stressing. It's the first time I'd ventured out into the world by myself. Didn't have mum, didn't have dad, didn't have my brothers. It was all overwhelming to me.
Yep.
So I thought, I'm going to get the closest... Coburg is a pretty rough area. I'm going to get the closest accommodation to precision submission martial arts, i.e. 10th Planet Melbourne, as I could. Now, the place I stayed was at about a K away. Right, you had to go through a train station and walk down this dingy industrial area road. Now, this place, I'm not going to name drop them. I should, because fuck you. But I stayed in the room closest to the car park, and I was woken up 3 times in the middle of the night. Now, when I say middle of the night, I mean 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, twice, and I got up and had a walk, so I was fresh as for training. I wanted to impress these guys.
Oh, shit, yeah.
I got woken up wanting a cigarette lighter. I got woken up asking if I wanted a sweet puff. They didn't know me. This cracky wanted to know whether I wanted to suck on the glass stick or not. No thanks, I'm an athlete. We're getting this shit done.
Yeah.
And then I got woken up to know if I had a cigarette. I want to buy me a cigarette. I'm thinking, this was day 1. I was there for a week. I was like, this is going to be fucked. So I went to the receptionist. I said, look, I need some kind of financial compensation. I'm being woken up by these people. And then I looked behind the counter. Respite sign. So the fucking joke's on me. I set myself up for this hardcore. When I got back, I went to training, got smashed. It was my first H series ever. It was HGEF was the series. I remember it distinctly. I got back, was totally smoked. Did 48 live rounds with Frank Savages. Got back, and there was needles and baggies and gloves and fucking bungee cord on my doorstep and my fucking. So I grabbed the placemat like this and went and threw it. Little did I know the person that owned all that stuff was looking at me. Shit hit the fan. I shit myself, even though I was at that point pumped up, athlete, killer. I
You
shit
have
myself.
no idea what they've got on it.
Closed the fucking door, chain link. I'm pretty sure I rang mum. I was like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, I'm
gonna
see it. Yeah.
So I've got a real thing for lemon lime bitters. Smashed a lemon lime bitter bottle. Slept with it on the thing. Woke up, peace and quiet. So what's going on here? All 3 people that have been giving me shit that don't got evicted, they just trashed their rooms. That's on trip number 1. Trip number 2, I told Frank, don't send these people to the Coburg Motor Inn. So then I went to this other place, which is about 800 metres down the road from this place.
So now we're 1.5 k's from from.
And I was, at that point, I didn't have any relationship with anyone at the gym, so I was walking to and from.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect anything of everyone. I knew I had to earn my way. Fucking hell. So then I went to this other place, and this place had a swimming pool I seen on the pictures. I told him I was checking in at 10. I was going to fly in early to Melbourne, and I was going to do midday class, as they refer to as noon goons.
Noon goons.
So I rocked up, but no one was there. Banging on the window, no one was there. So I stashed my clothes, valuables, laptop, fucking all and sundry. I stashed in the bush, went to Noon Goons, got wrecked, come back. Still weren't fucking there. Made phone calls, made so many phone calls. The person answered the door in a totally Eastern European accent, couldn't understand her. She was like, quite attractive, but it's all good. And I said, I need to be booked in, and my name's Daniel. Oh, Daniel, we're expecting you at 10. I was here at 10.
There was nobody.
What are you doing? I was here at 10.
There was nobody here. I don't know what
oh
you're
my
saying.
God.
Oh my god.
And I was like, can I have a room? Yeah, no worries. Hook me up with the room. Oh, the room's going to be 45 minutes. I was like, what do you mean? Oh, someone's still in there. We're cleaning it. Okay, whatever. At this point, I just wanted somewhere to rest because I was going to night class that evening. Got to the room, pretty much slipped on my ass because the floor was still wet. The sheets were not clean. And there was barking coming from this apartment. And I had no idea what that was. So I asked to order fresh towels, laid them on the bed, laid down on the bed. I've told this story so many times, it's probably, they're all doing leg locks, it's good. I laid the towels on the bed, went for a 45-minute power nap, got up, wrote notes, sick. This barking continued. I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on? I was on the second story of this apartment building. There was someone to my left, who I'll talk about in a second, and then someone down the actual end of the building who wasn't quite friendly, and then adjacent, the pool was a guy. Now, I went to training, come back, was foam rolling with a glass, Coke bottle, getting all the niggles out of my body, and then I hear shit hit the fan. Police had rocked up, evicted this guy who had a husky in his room. He ripped off the door to his flat and thrown it in the pool. I'm just going like this, looking through the thing going, what is happening?
This is worse than the first trip.
I'm ringing the apartment owners saying, what is going on? Like, I feel very unsafe. Am I okay? I'm going to be safe. No, it's fine. It happens all the time. I'm thinking, what the...
They've got like a silent alarm. They're like, it's just a
good.
fucking Tuesday.
So I went on
bro.
the website. It's a respite again. I was like, how many fucking respites can be on one strip of road? But then you look into it and Coburg's a scary place.
Yeah.
And anyway, so come back from class. This was on, there wasn't a chest day night, but it was a night that I wasn't very familiar with, which is actually the night tonight, which is E-Series. Come back exhausted.
The hardest series. Yeah.
Physically and mentally exhausted. Sat back and I was like, okay, time to relax. 1 o'clock in the morning. The cops rocked up, mag-like torch through the window. I'm thinking, what the fuck? I was scared. Popped up, can I help you, mate? He's like, oh, are you right? I heard apparently there's a disturbance here. And I had slept through it. Yeah, all good, mate, all sweet. I'm thinking, you know what, fuck this. Do you know the little stingy as 1x1 tables you get in 1-bedroom apartments? I slid it up against the door, put the kettle on it, weighed that fucker down as much as I could. Did the same thing, repeated the same process I did at the Motor Inn, smashed the bottle, slept with it. Woke up in the morning. Now, this lady was standing outside my window, and I thought, fucking, you know what? I'm going to have a conversation, see if it was her causing all the ruckus. And I thought, there was people coming and going all night. You're a lady worker. You're a lady of the night. You're a working woman.
Yeah, you wear leopard print.
Yeah, I know she was wearing Hurley. I remember distinctly. She was wearing like a fluoro jumper and Hurley track pants and thongs.
Oh, that's the epitome of sexy.
Yeah, and she was really nice. I was like, "Hey, you going, love?" She's like, "Hey, how are you?" I was like, "You know what I'm like." Just a quick question. Are you a prostitute? I swear to God. And she's like, I actually am a working woman, but is that an issue? I said, no, just asking. I was good. She's like, what are you down for? I'm training martial arts. She's like, oh, karate, as everyone says. Nah, BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu around the corner. She's like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, I got to go. Went back in the room, and a dude walked up the stairs as though she was going to get railed. I thought, you know what? She was honest with me. She was just having a cigarette. She was literally on tea break, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And
smoko.
And then luckily enough, I got approached the next trip by Kane Sullivan, and I owe Kane a lot. And he would never say I owe him, but I stayed at his on his couch. And met some really interesting people at his house. Well, I've come to be friends with Kane's friends, and it's been really cool because I've got like a family now at Temple Melbourne. And like shout out to Anthony Peck, who was my first lift. He didn't want me to walk home at night time after telling him the story about the crack dens I was living in. And yeah, that's basically it. And then, like that shaped me because that was the experience for me because I thought I was going to fucking die, dude.
That is when your back is against the wall, like that like literally is who you truly are. Like you find out what you fucking made of.
So I had to tell everyone. Frank put a little post up saying, "Look, if you're coming to train with me, don't stay at these places." But luckily enough, like I said, I'm training at. I'm staying at the Sullivan residence with Sam and Kane. They're coming down for the launch, which when this drops, I think Sunday.
Yes, Sunday.
When it drops, they'll be down here celebrating with me, and they've come to be lifelong friends.
That's good. That's literally like. I don't have many friends. I literally have like 2 friends outside.
That's all you need, bro.
Of jiu-jitsu, and the rest of my friends are fucking here. Sure. You know? Like, and it's literally like a family here. From the day that I walked in, everybody was so welcoming and so caring, and they're like, "Oh, you don't even understand this? Oh, let me show you. Let me help you." Like, or I didn't roll last night because my foot's pretty fucking bruised up, and Ryan wasn't rolling either. And I was like, "Dude, can we please practice F3?"
Yeah.
And we just went through it, and that's how it's always been. It's always been helpful and family oriented, and like, you know, because
positive culture is so important because whether you're injured, upset, where you brought your weather system in the gym, if you come here and the culture's shit, what you bring in the gym is going to be amplified. Where if you bring shit culture in, if you bring your weather system in from a bad day, and the culture here is nasty, it's just going to amplify. Where if you bring in your bad weather system from the day, and the culture here is good, it's going to tone down the bad weather system, isn't it? Yeah. I've noticed a change in you, like going deep on your podcast. I know for a fact that when you started, you were very, very, very hesitant. You didn't know where you fit in on the food chain in the gym. You knew you were a bigger dude. You knew you were incredibly athletic. But one thing that I pride you on, and my partner Vanessa, Loch Ness Monster, Ness Quick, whatever you want to call her, she loves rolling you because as a 6-foot bulletproof Captain America looking motherfucker, you don't kill, crush, destroy people smaller than you.
Yeah.
Except that free trial that came in the other day.
He come at you, bro. At me, man, and all I had to do, I was just like, oh, trip,
yeah,
boom.
But, as you got to show them the way, you know. But like just to reiterate, I pride that on you, and you were very anxious coming in, and then I think you've just
definitely,
as of
anxiety
late,
was a massive.
You found your feet, and you know where you are in the not the food chain, because I mean there is a food chain here, but you know you're all part of the brotherhood. You made advanced class in like a month.
Yeah,
that's unheard of.
That was the biggest thing to me. Was like when the split happened. Like I was here for 2 or 3 weeks maybe after, like before the split, and I was like, all right, fuck. I got to get good. I got to get all these techniques. I've got to just commit to it and just do it. And that was the biggest like. I had all this anxiety. Literally every time I got here, I was like, okay, but I'm here now, and it'll fucking.
And do you know what? I still get when I rock up at Coburg, I get pre-anxiety, and like I said yesterday, I don't want to regurgitate what I said yesterday all the time, but your brain chemically doesn't know the difference between excitement and anxiety, and you have to say out loud, "I'm excited to be here," because I still get it rocking up. This is my fucking academy, man, and I still get nervous. But the second I step on the mats, I start teaching, I start rolling my guys. I roll my guys every night. They know what's up. They train with me, not under me.
Yeah, well,
that calms it for
yeah.
me. That brings it down.
Definitely. And especially, if you're having a shit day or if you're fucking angry at the world or whatever, which doesn't really happen here because we're all fucking like understanding with each other and stuff. But if you come in, you've had a shit day and you're just fucking angry at the world, you're going to get put down a level very fucking
Quickly,
fast.
yeah. By my smallest guy.
I was going to say, Ryan, like me and Ryan train together sometimes, and in the morning at the gym, there were these two guys that would just fucking stare at us and give us dirty looks, and all I could think was, I just want to go up to them and say to them, don't be scared of me. I would be scared of that little fucking guy over there because he'll kill you.
For sure.
Like, will literally kill you easier than you could imagine.
Sure.
And now I want to get into I'm going to get into some balls deep in the news with JQP and my man Daniel Marinelli. I've got I get an interesting story because I actually don't know where you stand with authority. I don't know how you feel about police and authority figures. Like obviously people like Frank, we just talked about respect. But the headline for this article, it's not well written, but it says cops called to LA home, landlord concerned for woman's health. And turns out this woman was an actor on ER, like an old medical show for a while. She was only on there for like 4 or 5 years or so. Only, I mean, that's
I feel like
still
this just
fucking
took a massive political twist. Well, really, we should be talking about what they're doing at Bohemian Grove, but it's all good.
I haven't even looked into it. That's like
Conspic, bro. Conspic, look into it.
That's the fucking the what would you say, the slogan for 10th Planet. Look into it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But anyway, so this lady, Vanessa Marquez, 49 years of age, hadn't harmed anyone when the police had shown up. And when they arrived, she was having a seizure, apparently. They think it was a seizure. Quote by one of the officers that was at the scene, it appeared the female was gravely disabled. That was the direct quote that came out of the officer's mouth. They were there to help because the landlord had called and was concerned for her, hadn't left her apartment in days, right? They were there to help her, but they fucking killed her.
I've seen this article. I did look into this a little bit.
They shot
Have
this
you read
woman.
what the prosecution said?
No.
She was able to shoot herself, and then he demonstrated it in the courtroom and completely fucking butt fucked the way of actually demonstrating it, and then all the defense said, or all the prosecution said that were against the cops said, I'll let that speak for itself, because he tried to say that she could have killed herself, but
yeah. Well, it might be a different article we're talking about because it said they shot her because they thought she was pulling a gun, but it turns out that it was a BB gun, but they won't release pictures or any of the BB gun or anything.
it's a fucking cover up. You know what's we live in
worst.
Australia, man. One mid-length haired crazy motherfucker shot some people
Once.
in Hobart. No, was it Port Arthur?
Port Arthur, yeah. Which is in Tasmania.
They took guns off us. We need to have a conversation whether that actually happened the way it did, but we can go through that another time. We'll do a Conspic podcast one day.
Definitely, 100%.
Because I don't know how someone hits shots with a 303 head and chest shots that has no background with firearms. I'm not sure, but we got to look into that one day. But the Australian government went, because they wanted to disarm the people, the Australian government went, fuck it, let's take the guns off them. Now, Australia doesn't have a staple gun, bulletproof cement constitution that
Like America does, yep.
But put body cams on every officer, uncut body cams, problem fucking solved. Everyone be just like Edgy Bruss says, you prove to me we go to the moon, you strap a camera to an astronaut for when he says goodbye to his missus, when he gets in the fucking spaceship, and when he flies up.
And then we will know.
And then we'll fucking know. But even then, they'll probably fake it.
100%.
If you put a camera on a cop from when he clicks the fucking paycheck at the start, logs on.
Yeah, clicks on.
1, 2, 3, 3, he logs on. How you going? Give me my 9mm Glock. It actually is. Dude, it is. Puts his gun in his holster, puts his badge on. I'm doing the American people proud. Put a camera on, press record. At no point, or if at any point that camera gets covered up,
Is when he's taking a piss, if that.
is if he's in the toilet or laying his missus out on tea break. I want to see every single thing that cop's doing.
Hell yeah.
You have a gun, you literally
Have
the license to kill, and I hate to say that, but they are killing motherfuckers left, right, and centre there. I want a camera on your chest, and I want to have full accountability for what you do on your shift.
I think it should be they should have fucking, you know how BMX riders and whatever have the GoPros on
Yeah.
their head? Should something like that, because then you can fucking see everything.
100%. But if there is a reasonable, like if you're about to engage in someone, clock, clock, bang, and you've covered up your camera, you're a shady motherfucker. We're looking into you. We're looking into you 100%. But if you go knock, knock, hey love, we want to come in and inspect you. We got a phone call that you're being a shady motherfucker. Let's have a look. If that camera gets covered up,
At any point.
look into you, motherfucker. You're doing some crazy shit. I don't know whether you're shooting this bitch or you're making love to her. I don't care. We're looking into you.
Yeah.
100%. Look, Australian coppers. You go down to our main drag here in Adelaide. They all have chest cameras, right? And to be honest with you, I haven't really had a bad run-in with Australian police. They seem pretty legit, but they're held to a
Very,
tremendous scale. Where you're looking at American cops, they're all they form in counties. They form in deputies.
It's not just state, like not even just states. It's they've got their state, their
Micro level.
different laws, but then
Yeah.
it's these little micro, these little
Like a
tiny
lawyer in
spots.
California can't be a lawyer in Nevada. You have
Which
to
is
pass the
literally
bar.
across the border.
You literally have to pass the bar and you need to know the laws of each state and county. In Australia, you're a lawyer, you're a fucking lawyer.
In Australia, you're a lawyer in Australia.
Yeah, and you also fight rattlesnakes and all that. We ride kangaroos to
Fucking
school.
Yeah.
My Italian relatives still say that.
That's gold.
I've seen them like 4 times. They've been here like 4 times. What are
We
you doing?
when Janelle and I were in America, we made some American friends, went
That
to
when you
their
try to
wedding
have
and
a
whatever.
threesome with...
Oh yeah, 100%.
Sorry.
And they were like, "So, is it true? Like, do you guys ride kangaroos?" And we were like, "No, man, no.
That's weird.
Like, we eat them, but we don't fucking ride them."
Kangaroo's good meat, but it's like shit. Venison. Dylan Styles down in 10th Planet Hobart. You did promise me some venison. Still haven't got it yet, bro. You're a savage.
But yeah, they legitimately think that we just fucking play with kangaroos. And
While I'm there, just quick shout out to Jem and Nat at 10th Planet Hobart.
to the moonheads everywhere. in
Moonheads
Australia.
everywhere. Grubsy, Chris Spence, Devon Cootsey. You're a legend, dude. I love you, Devon. Tito, Josh Peckerstang at 10th Planet South Melbourne. He's an official moonhead. You guys are insane. We're taking over Adelaide. We're taking over every other state in Australia. 10p for life. Sorry to interrupt. Jacob.
Nah, that's cool. We will. I think we'll cap this off.
Yeah. I need to roll this guy.
Hopefully, you've thought of something, a song meaningful to you, like I asked you just before we recorded. Hopefully, something's popped into your head.
Okay.
For song of the podcast, of course.
I really want Only One by Slipknot. Because if I'm walking down to the cage or I'm walking up to a competition, Danny Marinelli to mat 3, the song goes, Only One of Us Walks Away.
Yeah.
And that song pumps me up. I could seriously commit mass murder to that song. I'm kidding, by the way, just for legal purposes.
It's just for emphasis sake.
Yeah, Only One of Us Walks Away. But I use music as a tool. If I'm upset, I'll use music to pump me up. If I need to be upset, I'll use music to start the waterworks. You know what I mean?
100%. I've said that before. Like, if I'm sad, I'm gonna use a sad song to cry. Like, I'm gonna cry all those tears out, and then we're gonna reevaluate, reassess, and restart.
100%. Only One of Us Walks Away, or Only One. It's in Slipknot self-titled.
Which was their first album, wasn't it? First album.
Was Iowa? I'm not sure. You have to check with our metalheads.
Yeah, with the Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anyone knows before I get to
whatever that
Wikipedia,
shit is. Look that shit up. Jamie, pull that up.
Jamie, pull that shit up. Joe, pull that shit up.
Shut up. 100%. Jamie's over there. Joe's
100%.
over there. Joe is also a 10th under black belt.
Hey. Yeah.
Why
my
aren't you
man
rolling?
Joe.
There's nothing wrong with you. You should be rolling. Roll.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure because, like I said at the start, I haven't had these conversations with Dan before, and I didn't know this about him because I wanted to save it for the podcast so it was fucking real, so we could do it good, do it right.
Do it flowy.
And 100% we're going to be back with some conspiracies in
Conspiracy
another
theories.
episode.
Look into that Port Arthur massacre, by the way.
Look into it.
100%.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen,
Catch you later.
Peace.
Keep it real. Let's roll. Please roll with me.